Hello, welcome. Sorry, a little bit of technical stuff going on there. Very welcome. Thank you for waiting around. Let me see, who do we have here today? My name is Sarah. I'm one of the expert teachers here. Okay. Hi, Susan. I can see your message. Thank you for that. Hi, Pallavi. Hi, Madhavi. Hi, Ekta. Hi, Gisela. Hello, welcome. Sorry, a little bit of technical stuff going on. One second, sorry, there, okay. Now let's do it again. Here we go. Sorry about that. We have more technical problems, but I think we're up and going now. Hello, right. Everyone can see my screen. Everyone can hear me. Sorry about this. Hi, Florian. Hi, Rajesh. Hi, Shashi. Hi, Halima. Hi, Sricharan. Hi, Veda. Hi, Michelle. Welcome, Susan. Hi, Dong. Good to see you today. Asma, Nikita, Giselle, Ritesh. Excellent. Okay, Florian, noted. I'm going to write you down. Okay, so very welcome. My name is Sarah, as I said, and I'm going to be taking you through this live mock test for speaking today. What we'll do is practice each speaking task. We'll briefly look at the answers and score them. I'll give some of you a chance to have a go, and we'll take around 60 minutes. So we're going to look at read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short question. You can chat to me in the chat box. I'll make sure the settings in the chat box are set to all panelists and attendees. So if you want to ask me questions or help out other people in the chat box, feel free to do that. Nikita, you wrote to all panelists and attendees, so did Giselle, and that means that everyone can see your messages. It's quite nice to create that sense of community in there. If you're joining us through YouTube, very welcome. I can't see your comments, but you can see each other's comments, help each other out, and let's get started. So I'll skip on through this. We're having a 20% off sale at the moment. We're really excited. This is the end of financial year sale. So if you use the code EOFY20, then that gets you 20% off all upgrades and all new packages. So this is interesting for people out there on YouTube maybe, or current users who might want to upgrade their package from, for example, bronze to silver to have access to more tutorials, more assessments, etc. So that is the code. It's good until the 30th of June. So that's tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Tomorrow already. Wow, where did June go? So it's good until tomorrow at midnight Australian time. So that's the code EOFY20. Also, remember, we've got our own mini mock test available. So that is available through the dashboard. It's your chance to take a mock test with E2 language, which gets you not only grades, but also comments and links to help you to improve your score. So we really listen to your pieces of your speaking tasks, and we read your writing, and we get back to you with a report that gives you detailed comments on all of those tasks. So it's really worth considering. You can find that through the dashboard as well. All right, and in today's class, I will be asking you to record yourselves. So get yourself a recording app ready. I know it's a bit uncomfortable to record yourselves, but it's really good practice to listen back to yourself and notice things like your oral fluency, pronunciation, other things that you think you can improve. So check that out. If you haven't got one, get one on your phone or some easy way to do it. So the first task is read aloud. In this session, we won't be focusing too much on methods and techniques because we're kind of assuming you already know, but remember, reading all the words that are on screen in a way that gives them as much meaning as possible. So get your apps ready. In this case, you have 35 seconds to prepare and then 35 seconds to read. So I'm going to turn off my video while you do this. Here we go. Okay, so that was our first text. Now let's take a listen to a sample answer for this. So we can see on screen in blue the words which are stressed, and these lines show where the pausing is. Let's take a listen.
Traditional cameras, even those on the thinnest of cell phones, cannot be truly flat because they require a certain shape and size in order to function. Now Caltech engineers have developed a new camera design that uses an ultra-thin optical phased array which manipulates incoming light to capture an image.
Okay, so that was Melinda, and you might think that she was really slow, right? Sometimes people say that's slow, but yeah, you don't have to go fast here. You need to be clear and you need to give the text meaning with the way that you read it. So that was Melinda doing our first one for us. So let's look at the scoring for this. It's content out of 5, oral fluency out of 5, and pronunciation out of 5. So you have to give yourself a score out of 15. Now, obviously, you're estimating this based on, how you feel you did. Give yourself an estimated score. Let's try another one. So here we go. This one, a little bit longer. You've got 40 seconds to read this one. Here we go. Okay, so this was our second one. Let's take a listen. A bit more tricky, maybe this one. It's got a bit of weird, this vocabulary is not so common. Sometimes people struggle with years. So take a listen to how these go.
Humans have changed the chemistry of the air, so when you take your next breath, you'll be breathing in 42% more carbon dioxide than if you were breathing in 1750. These changes, and many others, have recently come to be kind of lumped together under the title of the Anthropocene, as a reference to changes we humans have made.
The Anthropocene. So how did you go with that one? Again, you're giving yourself a score out of 5 for content, out of 5 for oral fluency, and out of 5 for pronunciation. So give yourself an estimated score. Ritesh says good. That was David Vida. Yep, exactly. So David was reading that one very clearly. You did a very good job, I think, on that one. Definitely a 15. Now, I've had a volunteer, Florian, would like to have a go at reading one of these. And Halima, there you go. I've got 2 volunteers. So I'm going to find Florian first. Let me find you. Now, where are you, Florian? So, Florian, you should be able to speak now.
Hi.
Hello. Where are you today in the world, Florian?
I'm from the Philippines.
From the Philippines. Right, great. Listen, let's have a go. You can have this first one if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm not going to give you preparation time if that's all right, because you've already had some. So when you're ready, off you go.
Sure. Traditional cameras, even those on the thinnest of cell phones, cannot be truly flat because they require a certain shape and size in order to function. Now, Caltech engineers have developed a new camera design that uses an ultra-thin optical phase array, which manipulates incoming light to capture an image.
Okay, nice. I think that was a definite 5 for content. There weren't any mistakes there. The word array, you missed the pronunciation a little because you put the stress on the first syllable. So you said array, but it's array. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
also
sure.
this one, image, it sounded a bit like image, I think, a little bit. I kind of wasn't sure, but because it broke up a little bit, the sound at my end. But the stress is on the first syllable, so it's image.
Image.
Exactly. So I think you would lose a little bit on pronunciation, but not much. This was a really strong performance because you read it very fluently. So well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for volunteering, Florian. So now let me go and find Halima. Hang on a second. Halima's going to have a go at one of these. Okay, so Halima, you should be able to speak in a moment.
Hello,
Hello there. Hi. And where are you today, Halima?
I am from Pakistan.
From Pakistan. Great.
Yes.
Thank you for volunteering. So you get this one. Are you ready?
Yes, sure.
Here we go.
Humans have changed the chemistry of the air. So when you take your next breath, you will be breathing in 42% more carbon dioxide than if you were breathing in 1750. These changes and many others have recently come to be kind of lumped together under the title of Anthropocene as a reference to changes we humans have made.
Okay, you got that word Anthropocene. Well done. And the year was fine. I didn't quite hear the before Anthropocene. I'm not sure if you missed it or if it was just kind of disappeared in there, but that was fine. It was good. All the words were there. You also have some nice intonation going on, Halima. But the one thing that I would say is it's a little bit staccato, right? So this means that you're kind of like like this. One of the things that you could maybe try to work on is blending the sounds in together. So, you know, making it flow a little bit more. But this is just to kind of make it perfect, really, right? So
Okay,
I think
right.
it was a really strong performance. Well done.
Right.
What score are
Can
you
you please
aiming
mark
for?
it?
Yeah, what score are you
65.
aiming for? 65? I think it
65.
would be
Yes.
fine for a 65. Yeah. Yeah. If you were aiming for 79, that would be a little bit more, but I think for a 65, it should be fine. Well done.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So I'm just going to take 2 volunteers for this one, but if I might take some volunteers for other tasks today, usually in sessions, I take a couple of volunteers for different things. So if you've said me in the chat box, then maybe you'd like to have a go at describe image. I will ask for volunteers in a moment. So so let's move on. We've got, do remember that if you want to have this experience of having one of us listen to you, give you feedback, give you advice, estimate you a score, then the one-to-one tutorials are a really great way to get that individualized feedback. So it's one tutor, one teacher, one student. It's a 45-minute session. You get to ask your questions and get answers through those sessions. Okay. Next up, we have repeat sentence. So get your phones ready to record yourselves. We're going to do 3 of these. I'll just turn off my video. Right, here we go. So I'll count you in. Focus. In 3, 2, 1.
The small water bottles generally hold 600 milliliters or thereabouts.
Okay, so this was our first one. It's 10 words. So let's take another listen to it. Oh no, sorry, that didn't work. Hang on, the chat box is in the way. Here we go.
The small water bottles generally hold 600 milliliters or thereabouts.
So for the scoring of this, if you got all of the words right and in the right order, then you can give yourself 3 for content. And if it was, you know, there were some mistakes, but you got the majority of it right, like over 50%, then you can have 2 for content. Okay, let's go for another. In 3, 2, 1.
Will we continuously ship supplies from planet Earth?
Okay, so let's take a look at this. It was just 8 words, but it was a bit tricky. It's a bit fast.
Will we continuously ship supplies from planet Earth?
Questions, it's a bit tougher. I don't know how you think about it, but again, it's just write down what you got for content. Is it 3 or 2? Right, next one, last one. In 3, 2, 1. If you are going to be absent, you will need to get a copy of the notes. Okay, and this was the third one. It was a long one, a bit more straightforward though, maybe. If you are going to be absent, you will need to get a copy of the notes. Okay, and yes, it was me, Amit. Now, if you, this was about as long as they get, I think, for repeat sentence. Yeah, this is about the limit, 17 words. How did you go on those? You're giving yourself a score out of 13 for each of these. So as I said, it's content out of 3 and then oral fluency and pronunciation out of 5. So the second one was tough. I think sometimes if they're shorter, they're harder sometimes. So obviously, you know, if you're not 100% sure of the sentence, but you caught some of it, then the best thing you can do is just try to say whatever it was you heard confidently and clearly, because then you'll still pick up points for oral fluency and pronunciation. All right, so score yourselves 13 out of 13 for each of those. And let's look at describe image. Now we're going to look at 3 of these today. So get thinking, get ready, get yourself, thinking about the technique for this. Keep it simple. You want an introduction, 3 key points, and a conclusion for this. So get your recording apps ready. And here we go. 25 seconds to prepare. Okay, that was our first one. Let's take a look at the next. Everyone get ready. Okay, here we go. 25 seconds to prepare. Okay, and let's go for one more. Everyone get ready. Here we go. Okay, and that was our third one. So some quite tricky tasks today, maybe for some of you. The first one a bit weird with that Venn diagram, and this one with the picture, and the second graph was kind of all over the place. So let's take a look at some sample answers for these. This is the first one. Yeah, this is the name of this type of diagram if you don't know. It's called a Venn diagram. Let's take a listen to this one. The Venn diagram shows the components required to make pancakes. The three ingredients are flour, milk and eggs. If you have only milk and eggs, then you are likely to end up with scrambled eggs. On the other hand, if you only have eggs and flour, you could make pasta, but not pancakes. Flour and milk, when mixed together, produce a goopy substance that's not suitable for pancakes. In conclusion, in order to produce pancakes, all three ingredients are required, otherwise a different product altogether will result. Okay, that was me again. I am a pancake expert. Some people, yeah, okay, you found this one easy, Amit. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just need to keep your head about you. It's a little bit about reading off the screen really and thinking about it logically. So next up, this one was tricky. Here we go.
This line graph represents the consumption of margarine, low-fat and reduced spreads and butter measured in grams over the period 1981 to 2007. In 1986, butter was the most popular of the three spreads. In 1996, low-fat and reduced spreads were consumed the least and reached a peak of consumption in 2001. Margarine remained steadily popular over the time period but decreased in amount consumed in the period 2001 to 2007. Overall, the graph shows us that consumption of butter has decreased while low-fat and reduced spreads have become more popular.
Okay, and that was David again with us for the line graph. So let's take now the image of these people in the restaurant. Here we go.
This image shows a group of people having a meal in a restaurant. There appear to be three generations with possibly a grandmother and grandfather, a mother and father, and two children. The young girl is around 12 years old, and there is a boy around 4 or 5 years old. They are eating what looks like an American deep-fried meal. There is a waitress wearing green serving them. In the background, there is an unrelated couple, perhaps in their 30s. The restaurant looks clean and has bright lighting. In conclusion, though this photo may have been taken anywhere in the world, it could be of an American family.
Okay, so that was our last one. So to score yourself for this, you want to give yourself a score out of 5 for content, out of 5 for oral fluency, and out of 5 for pronunciation. That gives you a total of 15 for each one and 45 points. So let's have some volunteers. I think, if I remember, Norma, I think you said you would like to have a go. Is that right? Are you still there? Would you like to have a go at describe image? Anyone else want to have a go at one of these? In the chat box. Susan said you would like to try. Okay, let's do it. Susan. Here we go. Hello, Susan. You should be able to speak now, I think. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there. How are you today? Where are you today, Susan?
I'm from Santa Maria, Bulacan, Philippines.
Okay. Why are you laughing? Lots of your compatriots.
I'm nervous. I'm not really prepared for this.
Okay. Which one would you like to try? I'll let you choose since you are the first.
The Venn diagram.
The pancakes, right, here we go. Let's go to this one. What I'm going to do and what I'm going to have to do is, I don't know if you've seen this happen before, I'm going to show you on screen the a timer, okay, because I can't play this one again. So when you're ready, I will start the timer and you'll be able to see it on the video, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so when you're ready, off you go.
Okay. This band graph, this band graph shows the three main ingredients of pancakes. There are flour, milk, and eggs. As we can see, if we have milk and eggs, scrambled eggs can be made up, and goop for flour and milk, and pasta for flour and eggs. Overall, as we can see, there are other products that can be made up in these three major ingredients of a pancake.
Okay. Okay, so you need a bit more practice. Obviously, you've got the idea, right? But there was a little bit of hesitation. There was a few gaps, and it was like, and then suddenly you felt that you were running out of time and you started to go a bit faster and you in fact were fine for time. So you've got the idea, just try to keep calm, you know, and speak about what you can see in front of you and you'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Well done,
Thank you
Susan.
so much.
You're very welcome. Right, who else would like to have a go? Anybody? Let's see. Let me know in the chat box if you would like to try. No, I think that nobody's saying anything. Amit says in the last one, my conclusion says that there is a happy family having and enjoying their meal. Is that fine? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Very good. Okay, I don't have any. Okay, Diane and Guarev. Okay, Guarev, you were first. I'm going to find you. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You can correct me now, and you can have a go at the next one. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you speak? Guarav?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Wonderful. Where are you in the world?
I'm in New Delhi.
In Delhi, in New Delhi?
Yeah.
Right. Great. Good one. Right, you're going to get consumption of spreads. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Great. Off you go.
This line graph describes the consumption of spreads from 1981 to 2007. In 1980s, the consumption of butter was high. The margarine consumption has been quite stable between 91 to 2001, and the low-fat and reduced spreads have actually increased during 1996 to 2000, and it further came down by 2008. Overall, there has been a stable consumption of margarine, but other fats have gone down in consumption.
Okay. Guarav, I lost you a little bit there in the middle. I don't know if it was just me or if it was everybody. The introduction was perfect, really clear. I really liked the points that you made there at the beginning. You had some nice graph language, apart from my interruption, which I don't know if it was just at my end or if it was your connection. This was a really, really strong performance. Well done.
Thank you.
What are you aiming for? What score are you looking for?
79.
Yeah, I mean, you're online for a 79, I think, with that, definitely. Good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, let's see who else we've got. We're going to do one more and then we'll get on with retail lecture. Diane was the person who volunteered for this one. So I'm going to find you now, Diane, for the last photo, last image, I should say, which was this family. Hello, Diane.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, I'm from the Philippines.
Yay! I like all these Filipinas in the house today. Wonderful.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So, are you ready for this nice meal?
Yes.
Okay, when you're ready, you can begin. Okay, here we go.
The photograph shows a lovely family gathering. They're dining actually in a restaurant wherein they've got good lighting. They've got deep fried foods in front of them, and is served very nicely. And there is also a waitress serving them with some dessert, and they're happily chatting with each other, with their grandparents, a mother and a father, and with two children. And they're also having some what's that thing? Sorry. Yeah.
I'm going to stop you there
Yeah.
because your time is
Yes.
up. Okay, what were you thinking?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering what you're not sure about. I mean, I find it
Because
weird. They're having these
yeah,
massive drinks. Look at these
oh,
drinks.
it's
They're
actually
enormous.
I was
But there you go.
I'm nervous. Yeah.
Don't
Sorry.
worry. Don't worry.
Something's
It was.
pop on my screen, so that's why I was like, oh, what was that? Yeah. Sorry
Don't
about
worry.
that.
This was fine. Absolutely fine. I mean, you can talk about any aspect of the picture that you liked. You mentioned the food, you mentioned the lighting, you mentioned the generations. That's absolutely fine. All really good there. Yeah, pretty strong. What are you aiming for, Diane? What score do you need?
I'm aiming for 65.
Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, you would be online for that. Have you taken the test yet, or?
No, not yet. My test is on the 11th.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I'm sure you're going to do
Thank you.
great. All right,
Oh,
good to
thank you
hear from
so
you
much.
today. Thanks a lot. Right, so let's now get on. Thanks everybody for waiting in there while we heard some examples. Let's move on now to retail lecture. So, but do remember, if you want feedback on your speaking, if you submit a recording of yourself doing a described image, then you will get feedback, which will be a score and also comments on what you're doing well and what you need to do to improve. So those are available in a package. People on YouTube, this is one of the advantages of signing up with us for a package, is that you get these assessment tasks, and depending on your package, you get different numbers of them, and you can get feedback on how you're doing and how, what you need to do to improve your score. So next up is retail lecture. You're going to need a pen and paper for this to take notes. You need to get a recording app ready as well. And you do get an image to help you. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? You've got a weird image. You've got your Amit. You've got your notes ready there, DMD, TDS. You've got a reminder of the framework here on screen. So I'm going to turn off my video and you have 10 seconds to prepare. Here you go. Good luck.
I have always loved math and science, later coding, and so I decided to study computer programming in college. In my junior year, my computer graphics professor showed us these wonderful short films. It was the first computer animation any of us had ever seen. I watched these films in wonder, transfixed, fireworks going off in my head, thinking, that is what I want to do with my life. The idea that all the math, science, and code I had been learning could come together to create these worlds and characters and stories I connected with was pure magic for me. Just 2 years later, I started working at the place that made those films, Pixar Animation Studios. It was here I learned how we actually execute those films. To create our movies, we create a three-dimensional world inside the computer. We start with a point that makes a line that makes a face, that creates characters or trees and rocks that eventually become a forest. And because it's a three-dimensional world, we can move a camera around inside that world. I was fascinated by all of it.
Okay, this was our first one. How did it go for you? Let's take, first of all, a listen to the transcript again. We can see the kind of things that you might have written down.
I have always loved math and science, later coding, and so I decided to study computer programming in college. In my junior year, my computer graphics professor showed us these wonderful short films. It was the first computer animation any of us had ever seen. I watched these films in wonder, transfixed, fireworks going off in my head, thinking, that is what I want to do with my life. The idea that all the math, science, and code I had been learning could come together to create these worlds and characters and stories I connected with was pure magic for me. Just 2 years later, I started working at the place that made those films, Pixar Animation Studios. It was here I learned how we actually execute those films. To create our movies, we create a three-dimensional world inside the computer. We start with a point that makes a line that makes a face, that creates characters or trees and rocks that eventually become a forest. And because it's a three-dimensional world, we can move a camera around inside that world. I was fascinated by all of it.
Okay, so that was this recording. You've got your notes, and then with the framework, you try and put this together. So let's take a listen to how that can go.
The speaker was discussing how she had always loved math and science, and later she became interested in coding. She mentioned that one of her computer professors showed the class one of the very first animations. Then she described how she had never seen one before, and she was mesmerized. Next, she talked about how right then and there she decided what she wanted to do with the rest of her life. She discussed how 2 years later she was working for an animation studio, and finally, she suggested that it's fascinating how it's possible to move a camera around inside an imaginary 3D world.
Okay, so you can see and hear there how it's possible to use your notes exactly and the words that exactly come from the recording, or you might choose to change them a little. Like, for example, here she changed transfixed from mesmerized, but it would be fine to say transfixed as well if you did. So how did you go with that? You're going to give yourself a score out of 15 for this. So have to think about your content. Did you get the key points? And you're giving yourself a score for oral fluency and pronunciation as well. And we're going to try another one. Used awestruck. Yeah, another word. Okay. Ready for another one? Here we go. Again, you have a little bit of time to prepare. There's your photo in this case, but it's smaller. 10 seconds to prepare. Good luck.
But first, let me begin with what you probably already know. 35 years ago, when I would have been graduating from high school, they told us that 40,000 kids every day died because of poverty. That number today is now down to 17,000. Way too many, of course, but it does mean that every year there's 8 million kids who don't have to die from poverty. Moreover, the number of people in our world who are living in extreme poverty, which is defined as living off about $1.25 a day, that has fallen from 50% to only 15%. This is massive progress, and this exceeds everybody's expectations about what is possible. And I think you and I think honestly that we can feel proud and encouraged to see the way that compassion actually has the power to succeed in stopping the suffering of millions. But here's the part that you might not hear very much about. If you move that poverty mark just up to $2 a day, it turns out that virtually the same 2 billion people who were stuck in that harsh poverty when I was in high school are still stuck there 35 years later.
Okay, well done. So that was our second. Again, let's take a listen to the script for this. If you found this easy, then why not practice reading along and shadowing this speaker? Yeah, if you like, that's excellent practice for oral fluency and pronunciation. Here we go.
But first, let me begin with what you probably already know. 35 years ago, when I would have been graduating from high school, they told us that 40,000 kids every day died because of poverty. That number today is now down to 17,000. Way too many, of course, but it does mean that every year there's 8 million kids who don't have to die from poverty. Moreover, the number of people in our world who are living in extreme poverty, which is defined as living off about $1.25 a day, that has fallen from 50% to only 15%. This is massive progress, and this exceeds everybody's expectations about what is possible. And I think you and I think honestly that we can feel proud and encouraged to see the way that compassion actually has the power to succeed in stopping the suffering of millions. But here's the part that you might not hear very much about. If you move that poverty mark just up to $2 a day, it turns out that virtually the same 2 billion people who were stuck in that harsh poverty when I was in high school are still stuck there 35 years later.
Okay, and again, let's listen to how we can put this together.
The speaker was discussing how tens of thousands of children die each day due to poverty. He mentioned that over the last 35 years, that number has fallen and now 8 million fewer people die per annum. Next, he described how poverty is defined as living on $1.25 a day. Then he talked about how we've made massive progress in reducing poverty, and we should feel good about that. He discussed how millions fewer people were now suffering. Finally, he suggested that if we move the poverty line up to $2 a day, then 2 billion people are essentially stuck in poverty.
Okay, so that was Colin showing us how it's done. Yes, you can say that the speaker was discussing poverty. That's fine. Yeah. Halima asking that question there in the chat box. So how did you do? You are giving yourself a score out of 15 for each of these. That gives you a total of 30 points for this section, and you're up to 144 on the test so far. And we're moving on to the last section, which is answer short question. So this is going to be 3 of these. Get yourselves ready. I'll count you in so you know when it's going to start. Okay, so everyone focus. In 3, 2, 1.
What is the job title for someone who presides over a courtroom?
Okay, a little tricky this one. The job title for someone who presides over a courtroom is a judge.
What is the job title for someone who presides over a courtroom?
To preside over means to kind of be in charge of or responsible for. So you preside, this is definitely the judge. Other people in the courtroom might be the lawyer or the solicitor, but they're not the person who is presiding. All right, so a bit tricky that one. Let's go for another. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Who is the person you call when there is a problem with the taps, toilets, or pipes in your house?
Oh, well done. A lot of you've got this one. The answer is a plumber or a handyman.
Who is the person you call when there is a problem with the taps, toilets, or pipes in your house?
Yeah, specifically it would be a plumber, and a handyman maybe because it's a general person who can do a bit of everything, but I would definitely say plumber is the best answer there. All right, so a point for that one. And the final one coming up in 3, 2, 1.
What appliance with a hinged door is used in the kitchen to warm up food quickly?
Okay, well done. A lot of you got this. It's a microwave or a microwave oven. I don't know if we can take oven here because it's that idea of warm up food quickly. So I think microwave is what they're looking for there. So that's another point for that one. So that gives you a potential 3 points for that section and a total score of 147. So how did you do on today's test? So add up your score. Let's take a look at the scoring there. This is what a reminder of how it all went. And what we're going to do is put this into our calculator. Now, this is a rough idea of what you would need, but if you're looking for a 79 on the test, you want to be getting about 130 points. If you're looking for 65, you want about 105 or more. And if you're looking for 50, it would be 80 points or more. If you're not getting those scores, obviously you need to figure out why and what it is you can do to improve it. If it's about content, is it about pronunciation, or is it about oral fluency? Obviously, lots of listening practice, lots of vocabulary. You might need to kind of increase your general knowledge. And a lot of students say that when they're studying for PTE, they do increase their general knowledge because they're reading newspapers, listening to podcasts and videos, and those things can really help with all aspects of the test. Pronunciation, maybe you've got particular problems with some sounds. You might want to check out our speaking course at E2 School for that. It's called Speaking Lab. Really reasonable prices, and they've got live classes, self-study material, and also it has artificial intelligence built into it so that you can get feedback on how you're pronouncing different words. One of the exercises that I mentioned just there for the retail lecture when we were listening was to read along with native speakers. This is called shadowing. This is a really great way to practice as well, and you can do that with any kind of listening script which you have a transcript for. Okay, you can also do a thing called echoing, which is where you play a little section, you stop and you repeat, and that can also help you with pronunciation. And those things also help with oral fluency, as do really practicing the tasks and working with the methods and the techniques and really learning, you know, how to use the methods and the techniques so that you can do the tasks with the most confidence that possible. Here is the platform. Obviously, you've got all the live classes here. You can use the self-study materials. You can submit your writing and speaking for feedback. You can book tutorials. Here now, we also have the group class option, which is where you can do a class with up to 5 students and 1 teacher. Plenty of options for feedback, plenty of options for practice there and asking questions. They're doing really well. So if you click, it's just below the tutorials section, then you can click on for groups classes, and they are $15 per class, and it's an hour. If you're on YouTube, those are also available to free users. So you just have to create a free E2 language account, then you would have access to the platform, and you do have access to the group classes on a free package. It's $15 per class. This is where you can create your study pathway to access the materials through there. You can also check out extra resources. We've got the blog. You can find all kinds of useful links in there for things on, it's got a really good search feature. So you can search for different things that you might want to look at, different tasks that you want help with. And there you can, let me just show you, I was going to share with you some links that I found before class. Let me just find, hang on. Here we go. I've got some nice links on Describe Image. I'll share that with you in the chat box. Some nice Describe Image practice there. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that little. Also, yeah, if you search, if you use this, you can really search quite well in the blogs. They've got a really good search feature, so you can use that to search for any task that you want, really. Oh, it's not pasting. Oh, brilliant. Hang on a second. Just get that link again for you. If you've got any questions, by the way, we will have time now at the end of the session. So just put your questions in the chat box and I'll get to them when we've just got through this little bit of business. There we go. Other things, we've also got the podcast for E2 language with Jay and Alex doing different interviews. We've got the latest videos on YouTube, and E2 School, which I mentioned before. We've got the Speaking Lab course there, which is great for pronunciation, and also grammar and vocabulary courses there. Remember, we've got that 20% off at the moment with the end of financial year sale. So the code is EOFY20, and that gets you 20% off all upgrades and new packages. So that's valid until tomorrow midnight Melbourne time. Right, that is time for questions. Let's take a look. Have we got any questions? So Nushad says, I've attended the test today and got 68 when I was aiming for 65. I got the test result 2 hours after I got back home. Wow, that's really quick. Thanks for your help and support. Your live class and tutorial were extremely helpful. In my previous test, I scored 55 on speaking. Now it's 70. Was thinking speaking is not possible to clear. Thanks a lot. Wow, Nushad, this is like amazing news. Thank you so much for coming back to tell us. So you got 68 and you were aiming for 65. Wow, and you got your results back in just 2 hours. That's so super. Well, congratulations and good luck with the next stage of your life, whatever that is. Well done. Congratulations from Siam. Yeah, quite surprising to get it so quickly. That's incredible. What nice news. You're not sitting around waiting. That's fantastic. Good for you. I'm really pleased. It's nice for people to hear success stories as well. Madavi says, congrats. Oh yeah, you sent it to everybody. Good one. All right, well, on that fantastic note, I think it's time to finish the class. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Thank you, Halima, for volunteering. It was really pleasant, really nice for me to be here with you all. And yeah, good luck with the preparation. Good luck if you've got your test coming up soon. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.